Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Semi-Professional Academic Podcast. As always, I am your host with the most reasons to not talk to that racist uncle at Thanksgiving, Jacob Watts. And joining me today is the hilarious, the brilliant, the oh-so-talented Madeline Lucas.
Hello.
Oh, Madeline, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem. I'm very excited.
Oh, me too. Me too. Honestly, I want to just thank you for being such an avid supporter of the podcast. It means the world to me that people actually listen to this. And like, I remember there was an episode where you DM'd me and you're like, I am shook at like some story that happened. And I was just like, oh, people listen, thank God. Like, if y'all listen, I spill some major fucking tea.
And I love tea. I love it. I'll take any type of tea if I know the person or not. So like when I know the person, I'm like, I have to talk to them about this.
Oh, if y'all get me to season 3, I'll fully name drop people. Like, I mean, I do that anyway, but like the explicit versions. Oh,
Please.
there's so much I cut out season 1. Oh, I feel bad that I cut out because it was so good. So get us to season 3, and get us some
Maybe you can like release uncut versions or something as
from
like a celebration
from the vault, Jacob's version.
from the JV.
Baby. Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny. I would love that so much.
That would be amazing.
I'd have to get consent from all my guests, but like even if I only got like 5 of them, that'd be so worth it, I feel like.
It'd be worth it. What, there's 5 Vault songs, like 4 or 5?
Maybe not. Maybe it'll be more of a 1989 vault, not a red vault. 1989 is my favorite album anyway, so
It's so good. Oh my gosh.
oh my gosh, before we start talking about your career, let's talk about like some maybe not as important, but Taylor.
More important.
No.
When I found out, so this is bad. I became a Taylor fan like after Folklore. I'm a fake fan, obviously, because of that. But when I found out all the Vault songs are Harry songs, heartbreaking.
Oh, same. And I don't think you're a fake fan because you
No.
like because I'm a debut fan, like since then. But I mean, a fan's a fan. Like I don't
True.
get...
And I went hard. Like I was in like the 0.05% of listeners and everything. Oh, Reputation's my favorite album.
Reputation is my second favorite album of all time.
So good. I love it.
1989 and Rep are my 2 personalities.
Man, I don't know what my personality would be. I don't think I'm cool enough to be Reputation, but like that's what I strive to be.
Oh, I'm definitely not cool enough to be Reputation, but I just gaslight myself into thinking I am.
There you go.
This is my advice to everyone. Gaslight yourself into thinking you're amazing, and then you end up doing amazing.
For real.
Yeah. I mean, I gaslight myself into 4 degrees right now. So like here we go.
That is a whole mood.
Oh my goodness. I have to ask though, like before we get into it too much, because like if you all haven't known, this is a Swiftie like stan podcast as well. What's been your favorite Vault song from 1989 TV?
So I was so excited for Slut. And don't get me wrong, amazing song, but I was really hoping for like edgy, like rock type of song. And so I was a little sad about that, but it's still great. I think Is It Over Now because she goes for the jugular and I love it.
Oh no, same. I think, and this is a very unpopular opinion, because none of them are bad. Like this is probably the best.
No, they're all bops.
This is probably the best and most solid collection of Vault songs. Because I'm not gonna lie, there's been like on every other Vault, there's been like at least one skip for me.
It's
like
yeah,
but these amazing. But probably my favorite is Suburban Legends.
that one's really good. And I think that's slept on. It's a really good song.
Yeah, no, I got so upset because like when like when a new album gets dropped, it shows like the most popular ones. Like they put like a star by it or whatever. I saw it, and of the Vault songs, that was the only one that didn't have a star. I was like, this is criminal. This is
It is jail. it is such a good song.
Yeah, Jail to Everyone. But I mean, New Romantics is probably my favorite song of hers of all time.
That's oh my gosh, that's my favorite on 1989. I love it. And nobody else loves that.
I know. And I'm just like, y'all don't realize. And like, don't get me wrong, 1989 for me, no skips. No skips. But I'm being so honest, New Romantics carried the deluxe edition when it first came out because no one was buying the deluxe edition for Wonderland or You Were in Love. Let's be so real.
No,
No one was doing that.
no.
No one was
Oh
doing
my
that.
God. New Romantics, top tier.
Top tier. Rolling Stone said that's her second best song of all time, beaten only by All Too
Really?
Well 10-minute version. And I'm just like, if
Amazing.
you're gonna lose to anyone, that's the one to lose to.
Right? That song, oh my gosh. This would be a cry for help if it was one of my like top five songs, but I love All Too Well 10-minute version.
I again just raw, like just so raw and real.
So good.
Yeah. Okay, so I can talk about Taylor Swift all day long, but we're just jumping back in. So
Okay.
yeah, so Madeline, besides being a Swiftie yourself, can you give the audience just a little bit of background information on you so we can kind of get a little bit more familiar with you?
Yeah. So I went to Hanover as well. I actually went to Franklin my first year and transferred after that, and was at Hanover for 2 years. My major was kinesiology and integrative physiology, started bio, ended KIP. Um, I, after that, did a semester of grad school at Marion in the biomedical sciences program because I knew I wanted to be pre-med or like pre-healthcare, but I didn't really know what. Ended up finding about the PA specialty and thought this is perfect. Worked as a medical scribe in the ER because I had all my classes, but I needed patient care hours. COVID hit, couldn't find a job anywhere. They stopped the scribe program where I was at. And so I just worked on my PA school application, got in 2021, finally graduated this August and became certified. I took my exam like 2 weeks after graduation, became certified. And then because I'm clinically insane, I started a doctorate program 2 weeks after I graduated. And I've been in that since while applying for jobs.
So you did nothing.
Yeah, I haven't really done anything since college.
Oh my God, there's wow. Like
Yeah.
you I you heard this is me trying and ran with that. Like that that's like honestly so much to unpack. Like one
It's a
congr-
lot to unpack.
congratulations. Oh my God.
Thank you. It was a lot. And sometimes I look back and I'm like, why did I do this?
It's all good for the plot. It's all good for the plot.
Truly. It that especially after I lost my scribe job, that was so much plot, just like trying to find work and then applying to school and then just like being at home during the pandemic and everything. There was a lot of additions to the plot.
Mhm. So much that I want to ask, and we'll get into all of that.
Okay.
But just taking it back to basics, can you kind of like walk us through like initially why you chose Franklin and then later on like what encouraged the transfer to Hanover College, another private liberal arts school?
Yeah. And everybody has no idea why because they're basically the same school that I like switched. But I chose Franklin first because I was painfully shy in high school. And I was like, okay, it's 45 minutes away. I'm a huge homebody. Like, it's a small school, seems to have a great science program. Like, I'll go here. And if it all is terrible, I'm 45 minutes from home. And I really did not like it. Even though Hanover and Franklin are like the same size, there was no campus life unless you were in a frat or sorority. And there, the sororities don't have houses, they just have a little room that you do meetings in, and that's about it. And it was very strange. There wasn't a whole lot to do unless you were in a sorority. And I did try that, just wasn't for me. And then also, all of the bio professors were quitting. And so it was like impossible to like find classes. Yeah, it's like every semester someone else was gone and you just wouldn't know about it. And so that kind of got me nervous. I'm like, man, I hate this. Like, I would like to transfer. And I was going to do UIndy. And then I was like, well, why not like actually switch it up? I'll do IU and applied there. And I was looking at my OChem class I'd have to be in, and it was like 600 people. Like, this is not for me. Like
Uh,
my high school, I was in a class of 36. And so I was like, I can't, that's too much. And I picked Hanover because so I'm from Seymour. And
oh my gosh, I'm from Austin. What up?
okay, I thought you were from Austin or Scottsburg. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm from Seymour. I went to Trinity. That's why I was like 36 kids in my class.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, totally. I know trading. Oh my
isn't
gosh.
that so weird?
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Uh, so this is such a long story. I'm so sorry.
Uh,
Uh,
girl, you've listened to the show. Like this is the show. I'm telling everyone, if you want short, concise answers, find another show. This is not for
go
you.
somewhere else.
Yeah. If you're in for like quality advice, real stories, real tea, and some buffoonery, come on in. The water's fine. We're all
Right.
mad here.
Like all of my stories are Charlie Day with the like conspiracy board. I can't tell a straight story.
Same.
Um, so backing up a bit, I've played violin since like 9 years old. When I was 11, I couldn't find a teacher, and I found one in Madison. So like my mom, God love her, would drive me to Madison every week for violin lessons. And my violin teacher was like, "Hey, I play at Hanover's orchestra. I want you to play with me." And so at like 11, I started playing in Hanover's orchestra. And I did that until high school. And then I went to Franklin. So I stopped that year. So my mom's like, you know, Hanover, like you just apply there, like just see how it works. And I applied that summer of the my next year of college, and I took a tour. And I'm like, hope this works. Like I'm going here, I guess. And it really worked out. And I loved it. I think the campus life was a lot better. Like they actually wanted you to have like things to do on campus. Even though there was nothing around, it was way more fun than Franklin ever was. And people weren't quitting the bio department.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah. No, I remember like in my master's, like in my last year, like there was a strike and like everything like was halted.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I know. Great plot though. Great plot device. I mean, the writers of that year really knew what they were doing.
Let's just put some drama in.
I know. As if I swear, like I if I had to describe my life, I would describe it as a comedic drama.
It's like sometimes you want to be like the side character, like the B plot. Like you don't want all the drama.
No, no. And like I tell people this, I'm not the main character because I want to. Like my life is just I really think my life is just too crazy to be a side character. Like I just can't. And like I'm sure you understand that.
Yeah.
But no, I mean like and that's so real though because I mean while college is a very like academic time, you're there to develop like your academic skills, like begin to become a master in your field. It's I think a lot of people don't realize. I think the pandemic especially highlighted this. You need that social communal interaction in whatever way that looks like to you. You need to have those needs met to be not just a overall well-rounded student, but also like just an overall well-rounded human being.
Right. Yeah. It makes a huge difference because like I had an okay high school experience, but being at Franklin, it felt like a movie's high school experience where it was very clicky. And I'm like, we're too old for this.
I know. I never got that. I and like I'm not talking about like there are people that you're just closer to or you feel more comfortable with. Like that just happens. Like
Mhm.
no shade, but like the intentional kicking people out or like whatever like that. I didn't have that really like an undergrad, but like in my master's program, I definitely did. And be like, you all are 30. What the fuck are we doing?
Like, are you not tired?
I
Like you're putting energy into this?
like I'm tired right now. Like what are y'all like? Did y'all just like go to bed for 7 years and like, do this?
Yeah. They're like, you know what? Let's start something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I know you said like you started out in bio. Did you like for a long time like wanted to like major in bio, or like did that come kind of like later in life? I mean, like it's still very young when you're like go off to college, but like I didn't know like how long you thought about it.
It was kind of just, well, I want to go into pre-health.
Mhm.
That's that's the only really major I thought of. And I was listening to your episode with Kyla, and she's like, it's all about nature. I'm like, that no, seriously, like I do not care about that. I care about the body, and I don't care about bugs and being in a creek and all of that. And so I did bio until, oh gosh, the first semester or second semester, first semester of my second year of college, because I did college in 3 years. And that was another thing where I was like, calm down. So I changed my major with 3 semesters to go in college. And so I took some, like I did that internship for KIP the summer before my senior year. And then I took 22 credit hours my first semester of senior year, which was ridiculous.
That's insane.
But yeah, I don't know why I did that. I was a different person back then. And now I'm like exhausted after 2 hours of doing something. But
Me
I
too.
just, I had took, I, the anatomy class was really kind of the push for me. I loved that class and actually being able to see like what happens in the body and not just on a picture. And it was just kind of then where I'm like, I think this should be my major and not bio. I'm kind of sick of this.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how the switch started and it all worked out. I mean, but my May term semester, my senior year, I had to have that class or else I didn't have a major.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, our undergrad had a human cadaver lab, which we were very lucky. We were one of
Oh
the
yeah.
institutions in the country that allowed its undergrads to work directly with cadavers. And I like, because at the time I was pre-med for a very long time before I realized, be like, I am actually not good at a lot of this. um, like Eddie, I'm looking at you. That fucking OChem class is one of the most humbling experiences in my entire life. So is physics, but I mean that professor,
Oh
if
God.
you're listening to this, step on a Lego.
Pay for my therapy.
Pay for my therapy. Honestly, I'm being so for real. People from Hanover get brought up in my therapy sessions all the time. And I one time told my therapist about it and they go, "Oh yikes." So you're welcome,
I love
everybody.
those little comments though. I love those because they're invested in it.
I know, and my Delulu brains be like, "Mhm, I am entertaining." And
My dog just busted in, sorry.
oh, no, you're good. So yeah, no, my brain, I'm thinking like, I am entertaining. Amazing.
Like validation.
So validation. But I think there's like a lot to be said, and I'm glad that that did not make sense. But I think that you having that chance to like really realize, be like, I actually am not vibing with this at all. Like I don't like this. And I will say, I think that's one of the perks of liberal arts college is like you have that kind of opportunity to explore like other kinds of majors. And
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I changed my major like officially twice, unofficially like 10 times.
Did you really?
Yeah, because I mean, like I'll tell the audience something too. So like if you're applying to medical school, they really don't care what you major in as long as you take the particular courses. I'm sure that's the way for like a lot of other programs. That was the one I have the most experience in. And I just don't want to comment on like other schools that don't know the thing. And despite the way I talk, I was really good at English. So um, and so I was thinking like, you know what, like I'm minoring in English anyway. I'll just major in English and then take like my bio courses and that'll be fine. Well, then I realized English major, you had to have a thesis and or do a seminar
Oh gosh.
or do a seminar. And I'm ambitious, but I'm also lazy. So I did not do that. And like
For real.
I never I never officially majored in English. Although I very could have well done it. I could have done it if I really wanted to, but I was just like, nah. So then I was thinking like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And then I officially declared my major as like biochemistry. I know. Jail. Um,
Disgusting.
I know. No offense to the biochemists. We love y'all, but like if you know
No,
me,
you're brilliant, but like
yeah,
that's
you
torture to me.
yeah, same. I mean, like if you know me in real life, you know, be like that was a choice. So then I kept biochem like from sophomore year on, and then I would take like one class in like English, be like, never mind, English again. We're doing this, like fully doing this. Then I would remember the thesis. I'd be like, okay, yeah, never mind. And then I was like joking around because like my advisor pissed me off one time. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be like a health and fitness major, like or something I hadn't even taken the class in. But I feel like I could
Let's just add that to it.
just add that to there. And then I'm also delusional. And like if I do like well on one assignment, like this is how delusional I am. My first semester of physics class, the professor like was famous for not giving out hundreds on the first lab. And I'll drop her name. Me and Sydney Claypool, we worked hard on this fucking lab. We got 100 on the first lab. So I was like,
Oh my
a
God.
physics major coming in, like fully delusional, fully thought me like, yeah, I could do this. This isn't hard. Like I fully thought
Like the one physics major at Hanover.
I know. And like Ty Allen, if you're listening to this, no, I'm not trying. I'm not coming for your brand. Sorry. I got humbled real quick afterwards, but so I was just like delusional, be like, I could totally do this. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm good at bio and like really nothing else. So we'll just do bio.
Oh my God. No, it's hard to pick though. And because if you like certain things, you're like, yeah, like I'm in college. I want to take classes that I'm interested in, but they throw things like these theses. Oh God, I don't even know at you. And that doesn't make it fun.
No. And that's also one of the reasons why I majored on bio because there was no thesis. I was so I got a full bachelor of science and they were just like thesis. I was like, who?
I don't know her.
The sis, not my sis. I'm so stupid. But no, I think like having that opportunity to explore is like so important because while as much as like I love like bio, having like that break with like English classes and like classical studies and like some history, some theology, even though it's not anything like I wanted to do like with my life, just being able to explore certain aspects of that that I liked was so valuable to me. And I feel like that's what I mean, I still got burnt out, don't get me wrong, but I like I that helped lessen the severity of burnout.
Oh, definitely. And looking back, I kind of wish I had time to kind of just do classes in other subjects. Like anthropology was something I really was interested in. I just didn't have time. And I mean, my favorite class in college was Latin American cinema. And I took that my last semester of college. I loved it. It was so fun. I'd say that class and then anatomy were my favorites. And I didn't know anything about Latin American cinema. I just took it and it was amazing.
I took a class my freshman year. I'll never forget it. Dr. Melissa Eden. I love her so much. She does not listen to the show, don't worry. But I took her welcome to Bollywood class like my freshman year.
That would
And
be awesome.
and I was thinking like, what does Bollywood have to do with the study like of English? I don't get this.
Yeah.
And what I really didn't understand was that like it was like another media of like you of like conveying messages and using that to like not only kind of understand how different cultures like tell stories and like use different symbols to highlight important issues such as like political inequality or gender norms or anything like that, but also kind of a way to bring another appreciation to the culture. And I loved that so much.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, when people kind of hate on liberal arts schools like that, I'm like, I think about the Latin American cinema class at least once a week. And it's been what, 4 years? Like it was amazing. It changed how I look at film. It changed how I think of different cultures because I mean, it brought up a lot of different things, just like you were talking about. And it was just such a great experience. And I think that it is kind of a pain to like have to do certain classes like fitness walking. But unless you do some fun classes too.
uh, we gotta do what we gotta do. Eddie, I see you with that organic chemistry. You will never know peace as long as I exist.
To this day, second semester OChem, hardest exam I've ever taken.
I I had to walk out of that class and be like, this test does not define me. I'm valuable. Like, give myself a pep talk in the mirror. And
Doing the power stance.
yeah, like the multiple choice though. God, I retook that class.
Sickening.
I retook that class because I got a C plus in it. No, I got a C the first time, and then I took it in the pandemic and got a B plus. And I was just like, you know what? Growth.
I remember walking out sure of one question, and I emailed them. I said, please tell me I didn't fail or lie to me if I did. Like, I need some good news, even if it's fake. And he's like, luckily, I don't have to lie. And I'm like, this isn't a joke.
Don't do this
Did
to
he
me.
do the thing for you? I cried. I was so stressed for this final. And I was in an RA meeting the night before. And he was like, hey, I know a lot of people are really stressed about the last question on the exam. Here's a link to help you. And he rickrolled us.
Oh no, he did that to me.
I was in an RA meeting and I'm like, shut up. Everybody shut up. Like
Shut up.
I have I have like a win. I get to see how to work this problem. And I click it and that song plays. I had tears just going down my face silently. I was so sad. I
No,
left the meeting.
no. The amount of Snapchat memories that I have of myself or like my friends breaking
Wow.
down from organic chemistry at Hanover College should be studied. It should be like a
Oh
phenomenon.
yeah. I have this picture on my Snapchat that comes up every year, and every year I just think it's the funniest thing ever. For the final for first semester, he's like, "Yeah, wear your pajamas; it'll be fun." Blah blah blah. And he comes wearing like a full Saint Bernard onesie, and I took a picture and I put like, "This man, I'm really about to fail an exam from a man wearing a Saint Bernard onesie. Like, what is this?"
No, it's a full-on fever dream. And I I remember one time because I've talked about this before, but one time Eddie like had left for a conference and he was telling us about it and he goes, "Oh yeah, I love going to like the undergrads presenting." And I'm just like, "Good for you, Eddie. Way to encourage like the next generation of science." Like fully giving him like the praise for this. He goes, "Oh no, I ask them questions until they can't answer me and they get red in the face."
I, I know this is an audio medium. I have no words.
Yeah. And so I, being the unmedicated, deranged mess that I am, I go, Eddie, I'm just saying, and I say Eddie as if I don't still need him to pass me. And I'm like, Eddie, I'm just gonna have to say that's not very big dick energy of you. And I left the room. And it was such a great exit. And I was so stupid because he was halfway explaining what we're doing in the lab. But I had Sydney in there and I texted her, I was like, girl, I'm being so honest. You have to tell me exactly what's going on because I don't know what's going on, but that was a great exit line. And I can't
I
believe
can't come back in.
I can't come back. I can't come back from that. That was just too good. That was too good of a line. And then
Oh my
apparently he was
God.
like gagged and like he looked over and like Caroline was just standing there like eyes wide gaze and like he looked over at Sydney like, did he just
He did.
yeah.
That was it. That was a fever dream for real.
No. Long story short. There's so many classes like that where I'm just like, what is going on?
I
And
think the biggest fever dream, were you in anatomy when I was dissecting, doing like that um individual dissection?
yeah.
Okay. So I again referencing another episode, I think it was with Kaylee, and you guys were talking about just the absurdity of our cadaver program and how we did like you would not see this in a med school. You would not see this. I didn't see this in PA school. He was like, yeah, dissect, do whatever you want. I'm like, no. Um, but I came to him after anatomy and I said, hey, I'm really looking to build up my resume. Can I help in the lab? Can I like clean the instruments, pick up, like assist, whatever? He's like, why don't you do a full dissection? Like, oh, all right. Like, what can I do? And he said, well, everything is dissected already, but the feet, hands, and face. So pick one and dissect it, and I'll let you. And I was like, okay, well, I hate feet, and the hands kind of freak me out. Like, I guess I'll do the face.
That's
And so,
wild. That's
isn't that
wild you
wild?
chose the face.
Yeah, that was looking back. But I hate feet, and the dissecting the palm was the only day I was like, I'm about to pass out.
Yeah.
So I just went for it. but he had me go in like a dimly lit hallway into a dimly lit room where it's just me and a cadaver, and that's it.
Yeah. No, I remember because I came in there and you showed us like some stuff that you had been dissecting. And
Yeah,
I was like, this looks like a fucking horror movie.
it was. I was
Like,
I was in there one day for 8 hours. No food, no breaks, one light bulb. Just the head is removed. Like it was the weirdest thing in my whole life. I was what, 19? Like just doing this.
I sometimes I like just fully forget like what the fuck. Like, in one hand, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, we were so adult, and like looking back on it, like I was fucking 19, and I held a heart in my hand.
Yeah. I removed a head and was like showing it to students. And I'm like, what? How
Yeah,
did I get here?
I remember you showed us an eyeball you had dissected, and
Yeah.
I was just like, power to you, girl. Like, I don't know if I could have done it. We had
Well,
people.
God bless Andrew. Like he did the first one because I was like, I can't do this. And he said, I'll do one, you do the other. And I'm like, okay. And while he's doing the first one, I was pacing around the room because I was so freaked out. And then I was like, I'm never gonna do this again. I'll do it. And that was that.
I love
But
Andrew.
that was, oh, I love him. But that was like a semester long fever dream.
No, same. I forget. I think like the biggest favorite dream for mine is that and this is like not, I never signed an NDA, so I'll say whatever I want. But I had a meeting with the social media team at Hanover on how to succeed on TikTok because I had more followers than they did. And I was like, this is so funny. This is so comical.
Oh my God. That's amazing though.
I It's wild. And then I became the social media intern for the academic office. I wanted to be lead intern, but
I did not
lead
know
ambassador.
that.
Yeah, I wanted to be lead ambassador, but that's a whole nother can of worms. Um, but yeah, so like and then I went on to produce the most viewed Hanover videos of all time through Instagram Reels.
Man, the legacy.
I know. Like, where's Watts Arena?
Monterey.
Where's Watts Hall?
I think you should just go and put the plaque on there.
Can you
You don't need to
imagine?
ask them. I think
I need
you are now Lake.
Where's Watts Studio? But anyways, so Madeline, we obviously talked about the coursework and how we got to KIP. But then after graduation, you mentioned a little bit, but can you talk about what was the first thing you did? Because I mean, a lot of steps since graduation, a lot of spin-offs, a lot of new seasons.
A lot of spinoffs.
Yeah.
So my senior year, I was pre-med, but like my senior year, I just kind of like had an existential crisis. I'm like, what do I really want to do? And I actually was just going through different healthcare careers, just trying to figure it out. And took like a few months. I think I gave my family a heart attack just from like changing everything my senior year. And I was like, well, it's too late to apply to med school, and that would just be too much on my plate. Why don't I do a master's program for a year, go into med school, and that way I have time to kind of build up my application, take more classes, whatnot. So that's what I did after graduation. I was applying to master's programs and got into Marian University's biomedical science program. And I was there for a semester, and kind of with that was exposed more to what med school actually looks like because it was paired with the med school, and it was kind of one of those programs that helps you get into a medical program. I'm saying program a lot, but basically what it is. And there I just kind of saw more of med school, and I'm like, you know what, this is a lot of uncertainty for a good 10 years of your life, and that stresses me out. And honestly, I don't want to do that. That's not the path I see. I went to the program director and I'm like, hey, here's the deal. Like, I want to be in medicine. I don't want to be a doctor. What do I do? And through that, we kind of just talked about it, and I did some more research, found out the PA profession, and went from there.
Nice.
Mhm.
I feel like such like a solace, like not solace, but like solidarity in that, because very much the same way senior year, like I full on took the MCAT, and like after months of studying did not get a good score, and I was like, I just spent 6 months studying for this exam in classes I've been taking for years, and I still did not do well.
Hmm.
Do I really want to continue like this cycle of just board certifications, like board exams on top with like specialty matching into the rotation that I want, all for
Yeah.
the chance of like multiple circumstances working out that in 10 years, I, after 10 additional years of schooling, so like when I'm like 32, 34, 35, I can start practicing medicine on my own.
Right. And it's just so much uncertainty and like you said, exams and just you don't know until you're already there. And I'm a person where I like to jump around. Like this sounds like a terrible employee saying this, but it's like I don't want to specialize in one thing for the rest of my life. And with the PA career, I can jump around like that. And that was something where the med school just didn't seem like a good route. There wasn't something that I was so inspired to do that I could be like, for the rest of my life, I want to do this. And obviously, you don't know that as soon as you go in, but I like having the freedom to do that in the PA profession.
Yeah, totally. That's so awesome. And I like gotta ask, did having a and this may be a little bit messy, but yeah, everyone's been watching this show. They know I ask whatever questions I want. So, did you feel like you were more prepared to succeed in the PA program, given that I would say Hanover has more of a like intense program and training, or did you feel like it was kind of like a level playing field among you and your cohort members?
With PA school, anatomy definitely helped me a lot because we had an anatomy master's dissecting our cadavers and we just went in and looked. So being able to dissect myself at Hanover, huge difference. I mean, anatomy was our biggest class of the summer semester, and I could kind of put that off, which was a blessing because it was a lot if you'd never seen it before. And luckily, I was able to see it. For the other classes, honestly, though, physiology did help, but I would say my master's program classes helped more because just the workload. It was a lot to take on because they smushed so much together for the PA school program because it's about, I think, 14 months of classes. And so it was just kind of the workload was really hard to adjust. But I would also say I took exercise physiology with Dr. Stanford, love him.
Love that.
And that, oh, he was so funny.
Mhm.
Uh, that really helped.
Mhm.
He was just an incredibly smart man.
Yeah, I never had him, but like glowing reviews about him and like just like the intelligence that he had.
Oh, yeah. And the mustache, amazing.
Oh, fantastic. I gotta say though, like, what inspired you to take? And maybe I just don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know the ins and outs of PA school, but 2 weeks taking your certification exams after graduation, is that normal, or were you just
No.
insane?
So it was something where I it's a DMS, so Doctor of Medical Science, and it's for PAs who just want a little bit more in-depth knowledge and working with more complex patient cases. And it's a year, it's online. And if you do it within, at least at my school, if you did it within at least 9 months of graduation, you could shave a semester off because it has a clinical semester and we had just finished that through school. So I was like, well, I know I want to do this within 9 months so I don't have to do clinicals again because I would like it sometime in my career. And after graduation, I emailed them because I was like, okay, let me just put this off until I get my certification and if I'm actually a PA. And then I was thinking about it, like, well, I'm not going to get a job for a while because even if I get one, it takes about 3 months to get credentialed. I'll be doing nothing. Why don't I just start it now? And I emailed the school and I submitted my application the day before classes started. Like they were working with me to kind of get it all in. And luckily, I knew the professors because it was the same program as my PA school. And I applied, and then the next day started classes, and I'm in week 13 or 14 now. And it's just been working out while I've been applying for jobs and really just being unemployed, hanging out at home.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
it's been really nice.
yeah, especially because yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize like it takes time to like get credentials like back.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, because I took my certification exam 2 weeks after I graduated, and then it took I think 5 days to get back. But then you have to get licensed, which takes 3 months in whatever state you're in. And then if you want to work at a big hospital, it can take at least 3 months. I'm like, I will drive myself crazy not doing anything because you're going from like 0 to 100 starting school, and then you just stop.
Yeah. So have you heard back from your licensing yet or
I haven't applied because I'm applying in multiple states, and it costs about a couple $100s to get your licensing in a state. So
what the hell?
yeah, it's so expensive. And then you have to get a DEA license, which is like $1,000. And so I'm just waiting because I'm applying like 6 states. So I'm gonna have them pay for it.
I'm not trying to sound stupid, but medicine low key sounds like an MLM sometimes.
No, for real. Like this doctorate program is an MLM, I swear, and I've been suckered into it.
You know, yeah, but you're gonna be Dr. Lucas though, like after all this though.
I'll have some initials after my name,
Yeah.
and then
No,
I'll like convert people into the cult too.
cover people. It'd be like if you join my team, you get 10% off using code Lucas.
Lucas 20. If you see me on Instagram doing that, just mind your business.
Yeah, no, no problem. No problem. I'll be like, oh
I
my
need the
gosh.
money.
I know. I mean, you're talking to the dude who took Ridge Wallet like TikTok ads like on his thing. So
Whatever works, honestly.
like you can be embarrassing at home or you can be embarrassing in Spain. Take your pick.
For real.
No, I say this if I could afford Spain. I can afford Spain without the S. But like you said, like this will help you like further on in your career, and then that way you can be like, I have my doctorate like in medical science. I'm going to be a certified PA, licensed PA. Like I have all this. I'm sure that's going to make you like more competitive for jobs and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it's just kind of keeping me sharp because I don't really have a need to study right now because I don't know what I'll be going into. And so this is kind of keeping me, it's a 5 week grouping for each specialty. So we've done cardio and renal, and now we're in rheumatology. So it just kind of keeps me learning things and getting more and more complex.
I think that's so good. Like just because I haven't really had a break because I went straight from undergrad to my master's to my PhD. So like my mind's just going.
Hmm.
But I really think like just keeping yourself up to date on like practices, research, literature, and just studying. I feel like that's so important because it keeps you in that routine of learning.
Oh, definitely. Because it's so easy to just stop and it's very tempting.
For real. So real. Oh my goodness. I gotta ask. So like what was obviously graduation of course, but and like getting in, but like what do you think was like a defining moment during your academic career where you were just like, I did that. I'm so amazing. I nailed this.
Oh gosh. Ooh, I have to say, clinical year is humbling. Um, because you get in and every month you're at a different place and you're like, I know nothing and I am just in everyone's way. And I would say, I think two of the times, one was in my general surgery rotation and I was there a month and I was terrified because everybody says like surgeons are just so mean. And don't get me wrong, a lot of them are, and it's very intimidating. But I had like I was so scared. I had a great time and I had like no skills to begin with. And then at the end, like they were just so patient and taught me so well that they were sending me into surgeries to like be the PA. Like there was no PA there. And I would just first assist with the doctors. And it would just be like me and him taking out a gallbladder, and it was
That's
so
so
cool. And he's
awesome.
like, okay, it was wild. And he's like, hey, stitch him up. I'm like, learn stitching him up. And taking all the dressings off and the drapings and like unscrubbing, and that felt like, oh, I'm actually doing this. Like I am a professional, and that was a very cool time. I'd say another one that wasn't fun, my ER rotation, they a patient came in unresponsive and they were like, "Hey, line up, we're doing CPR." And we did CPR on this patient for a long time, and they finally called it. Sadly, she passed away, but it was just, I they trust me to do this. I am allowed to do this. And they monitored me, of course. They had a doctor doing other stuff for the patient, but it was just kind of one of those surreal things like, oh, I'm not shadowing anymore. Like in a few months, this is going to be me. And so that was kind of something, it was a terrible experience, obviously, but I was like, I did that. That's wild.
Yeah. And I totally understand. Like I can only imagine like how devastating that was, but to be brought in on something that serious and to be trusted to do that, like
Right.
must be so validating to know like, oh my God, like I worked so hard. They trust me to do this. Like I can do this.
It was a very crazy experience. And after that, I mean, there were other patients to get to, but I was like, what can I do differently next time? Like, what do I need to work on? And they're like, no, that's what you do. And we'll watch you and make sure like to correct you, but like you will be doing this soon, which is terrifying, but it does feel validating to be like, okay, I can do this.
No, I love validation so much. And
Oh, I live for it.
I, yeah, doctorate program, academic validation over here. Uh, I'm kidding. I, oh my gosh. As much as I like to say that I'm such an independent person, I don't need approval. The academic validation I require is so bad.
Yeah.
Like,
And I do say like, oh yeah, I'm independent, but when I read those reviews, I'm like, keep them coming. I live for this.
yeah.
Like, do I only work for these evals? Maybe. Not to say that if any future employers here, no, I love to work.
Putting it out there. Like,
Yeah. Hire me, please.
hi, hire Madeline. She lives to get good reviews at work. Not to make it about myself too much here, which I feel I have a horrible habit of doing, and I'm so
It's
sorry.
your podcast.
No. So true. Anyways,
So more about me.
I feel like sometimes I'm like Wendy Williams, like like, but her podcast got canceled after not airing.
So you're better than Wendy Williams.
Wendy, don't drag me. I love you, girl. But anyways, so I have a habit of getting instructors and advisors who were not great at validating like the work that I've done. And listen, as much as someone who hypes themselves up, because don't get me wrong, I am my best cheerleader. I love me so much. I feel like I am so talented. But I'm also realized to be like, you know what, like you kind of like sucked on that one. like so like there's a duality to me. And I had advisors who are great at pointing out areas that I needed to improve, which you need. Like I feel like everybody needs.
Hmm. Oh, definitely.
But when that's all I was given and like nothing like praised on like it was good, that kind of made me be like, well, like why try anymore?
Yeah.
And but I'm a petty bitch and I will try anyways. So I don't know. And Madeline, you talked about it a little bit, but like, did you feel like throughout all your institutions that you were able to have like that kind of community or network of support to allow you to do all these things?
I would say it was one of those things looking back, and kind of reflecting. I wish I would have been more proactive and like reached out to my professors, because I have to like force myself to socialize. And so like getting to know my professors, I was never really close to any of them. Like Dr. Pretorius, she was my advisor before I switched to bio, or before I switched from bio. And honestly, even after that, she was the person I'd go to and be like, look, I'm stressed. What do I do? And I didn't even have like a really close relationship with her. And I could have like reached out more to professors and kind of made that community, and I just didn't. And so looking at that and then going to PA school, I'm like, okay, I need to make more of an effort, because when I need somebody, I need them. And got to know my advisor really well, and he was great. And I still talk to him every once in a while, and like he's helping me with references, and that made a world of difference, just kind of having that person to go to and be like, look, I need help on this, or look, like this class isn't going well. How this is how I'm studying. How do I need to change? And he'd be like, well, you're doing this right, but you got to fix this. Like that's just not a great way to do it. And so that was really nice to have somebody kind of call you out on your bullshit and be like fix this, keep this, blah blah blah. And I really appreciated that.
Nice. That's how I am with my advisor now, and I love her so much. She's so badass. She's so kind, and like that perfect mix of hands on, hands off. So I
Mm-hmm.
love that so much. And I really like having her as my advisor because she does exactly that. She will point out, be like, hey, you did a really good job with this, like good work, but we gotta fix this because this is the worst.
Yeah.
And listen, I can handle that. And when I tell people I don't like constructive criticism, because I mean, like it's true. I never want to be critiqued. I want to be like, oh, thank you so much. Sweet, nice, sweet baby, you're doing fantastic. Don't change.
All the good things.
All the good things. And but I I need to know like what I'm doing right, because if all anyone's giving me is negative critiques, I'm thinking like, okay, well, I did nothing right. This is just the worst
Mm-hmm.
of the worst that I have.
It makes a huge difference. And having that with my preceptors too and rotations, it's like, okay, if you're only saying the bad stuff, it doesn't feel like you're here to teach. It feels like I'm the punching bag. And so, like, if you give me a mix of good and bad, like, I know, okay, I got to keep this. This is a good way to do things. But this, I need to learn a different way. And it kind of forms it together. Like, I do want the bad, but don't just use me as your stress relief, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And some people have had the gall to just make me a very like punchable person in the past. And I mean like advisors. And I noticed, and I don't know, maybe this is why a problem, but like I will give it right back and they'll be like, you did it horrible on this, Jacob. And I was like, yeah, but I mean, look at who I had to look up to. I mean, like I'm doing fantastic.
So I am such a people pleaser. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then I'll just take it to heart and be like, I'm a trash person.
I used to be like, and I think on some levels I still am. Like like when Taylor Swift wrote "You're Losing Me," a pathological people pleaser, I felt that in my soul.
She was talking about you.
I I I'm so delusional. I'm thinking, and I on every album, there's like one song where like or multiple, and I'm just like, wow, Taylor wrote this like about me, like nobody else. Like she fully saw like my Instagram and my TikTok and be like, oh yeah, this is like exactly. I'm subtweeting Jacob in this whole thing.
It's a little Easter egg in the music video.
A little is, I mean, I've never dropped a video on my podcast, and she has never made any music videos about the songs that I feel like are subtweeting me. So I feel like, you know, there's a correlation and a causation. I'm kidding. I'm just being so stupid. Oh my gosh. I
Oh my God.
sometimes I feel like I should be checked into a mental institution, but then I remember I have things to do, so
Right. It's not on the schedule.
it's not on the schedule. No, that's why I can't wait to have a midlife crisis. Oh, it's gonna be fantastic.
A nice little vacation.
Nice little vacation. I'm looking.
You get the little sticky socks, the no slip
I
socks.
want the grippy socks. Like I want the grippy socks.
Oh my God. Tempting.
Yeah, very. Madeline, I asked this of every guest of season 2, and I have to know. I mean, even though like you're very young in your career, you have gone through so much and have learned a lot along the way. And I just have to ask, if you go back to any point in your academic or professional career and just give past version of yourself one piece of advice, what do you think you would tell her?
Um, I would say calm down. Basically, I was I still am very high strung. And I would just say like take a breath. It's not that deep. Start Lexapro way sooner than right before PA school. Oh, like I looking back on this is the sad thing, like I have calmed down so much throughout my adulthood. And sorry, I have three dogs and they are clawing their way in. Um, but like high school me was a completely different beast. I was insane and stressed out all the time about school. And I really lightened up when I went to high or college, which is not saying much because I still had a good breakdown once a semester of like everything's falling apart because I got a B plus or I'm gonna get a B in this class. And then I'm like, you are the worst person ever. Like that is I want to punch you in the face. Me hearing that now, thinking about me in the past, be like, you're the person I can't stand in class.
No, but like for real though, it's like I don't even think that's your fault. Like,
No, it's just like it was just stress, and I thought everything is so important right now, and like I wouldn't go back and tell myself not to work hard, but like have fun. You're 18, 19. Like I graduated at 20. What was I doing? Like
you that's
it
crazy.
was it was crazy. I started at 17, graduated at 20, and I'm like, why did I do that? Why was I everything so serious?
No,
And looking back, like PA school was hard, don't get me wrong. Oh my gosh, it was very difficult. And my days were like studying basically 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. every night. But when I got a grade that wasn't amazing, I'm like, whatever. I'm here. I'm doing a good job. Like I feel good about myself. Why am I why was I crying about grades?
no, because like I was too. Like
Yeah.
I remember, and I think just being on that pre-health, pre-med track, like the importance of like being perfect is not just encouraged, it's almost expected.
Yeah.
And just naturally, when you know, like you're not perfect at everything, you're just like,
It's
wow, I'm
wild.
horrible. I'm like, I did not get 100 on this hard exam that like no one else did. I'm horrible.
Yeah.
And
And the funny thing is, like, I put that pressure on myself. Like, my mom was so supportive, and she's like, "Why? It's okay. Like, why are you so upset?" I'm like, "I don't know, girl. Like, I wish I could tell you." And so, like, my family was very supportive. They're like, "You are being way too hard on yourself." And finally, after a few years, I'm like, "Yeah, I was. Why was I doing that?"
um,
And so it was great to have that support system and be like, "Calm down." So
yeah.
I would tell myself, "Relax. Take your Lexapro."
Oh, I just feel like putting like excessive pressure on yourself and having an existential crisis like every other week is just a canon event in any pre-health students.
Truly.
Like I'm convinced that's why I started losing my hair so early in life.
No, for real. I thought I was like, oh, I have hypothyroidism or something. I'm like, no, girl, it's stress. Like,
It's
go
no,
to bed. Oh my God. No, I would definitely tell myself, calm down. Come out in college, be proud, don't wait. Um, what else? It's not that serious. I wish I just would have said that. Like, grab me by the shoulders and be like, have fun.
I wish someone would have slapped younger me and be like, "Get it together." Madeline, thank you so much for joining us today. I had such a good time, and it was so just honestly impressive learning about all the things that you are doing.
Well, thank you. I had so much fun. Thanks for having me on. I feel so fancy now.
Oh, I'm so thankful that you consider this fancy. I don't know why I said it like Reba McEntire just then, but like that's okay. Here we go. Uh,
No, it's my podcast debut.
Podcast debut. Yeah. Yeah. And so Madeline, for the people who are obviously going to be obsessed with you after your podcast debut, where can they follow you to keep up with you on your journey and potentially look out for that discount code?
That's true. Lucas20, you can find that at Madeline_Lucas on Instagram. Um, I'm not really on anything else. I have a TikTok. It's mostly my dogs. I believe that is also that's Mad Lucas, I think. Other than that, that's basically it. But look out for that code for
Yeah.
my MLM.
No. Link will be in the bio.
Link in the bio.
Yeah.
We just need your mom's maiden name, social security number,
First name of your pet.
street you grew up on, common knowledge.
You know, your security code, bank information, all that. Just casual girly things.
Yeah, credit card, CVV,
No, bank statements,
health records.
all the records. Will.
Well, yeah. All of your earthly assets, just sign over to me.
Oh, just very, very routine process. Very routine.
Yeah, typical.
No. Oh, Madeline's info will also be listed in the video description of this podcast, wherever you all are listening. Oh, well, Madeline, is there anything you would like to tell our listeners before we sign off for the day?
Oh gosh, I don't think so. I can't think of anything at the moment.
Yeah. Well, as Madeline says, don't take it that serious. Chill out, come out, and for God's sake, take that Lexapro.
Take your Lexapro.
It's gonna be in the title somewhere. I don't know how I'm gonna. My favorite thing to do is just to take the most like wild line of every episode and use it as a title.
Oh, I love reading those because then I look for it in the episode.
Right. Oh, thank you. Someone gets the point of this. It's exhausting.
Oh, I am a podcast slut. I love podcasts.
Oh, same. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been Easter eggs and tie-ins from previous and future episodes in every single one of the podcasts that I've done.
I'm gonna have to go back.
And it's so funny to me because some of them are very blatantly obvious. Some of them are very like minute, but like it's so funny to me because
This is so Taylor of you.
Cindy Watts gave me birth, but Taylor Swift raised me.
She gave birth, but Taylor gave me life.
Yeah. My mom gave me birth, but Taylor gave me life. Oh my goodness, no. And it's just this very neurotic thing that I do because I love being extra. I love playing like this little game that even if I just do it myself and like if people catch on, like people catching on to like the titles and be like, oh my gosh, like what is this in reference to? Like I love that so much. And no, so there's Easter eggs sometimes, like there's hints to future guests in the show. And there's like obviously some subtle shade. I'm doing this like honestly, I'm doing things honestly to share stories of academic experiences, but also if people pay attention, they'll be able to piece together mine throughout all the seasons. And it's so fun to me.
Yeah, just like a little fact here and there.
Little fact here and there, yeah. And
so you can be kind of mysterious.
The only way back to my dignity is to turn into a shrouded mystery. I'm so annoying. I'm so annoying.
Oh my God. I love it. I support it.
Oh, thank you. Well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I'm your host, Jacob Watts. And remember, they're going to say you were crazy anyway. Cause a scene. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.